Although it's all around us, we're seldom aware of light. It's only when there's a lack of it, or an overabundance, that our sight recognizes the need for its correctness. Even when our awareness is awakened, it's usually by the designed effect of light in unusual circumstances, when we can see its 3D modeling, or when our attention is purposely directed towards it.
Yes, that steel was a jolly good idea.
Nowhere, perhaps, is this so true as in the world of the theatre. Here, light heightens not only the sense of sight, but can also add meaning to the words we hear. For on stage, the power of light can be used to shape, to emphasize, to subdue, and to dramatize, and even to change our whole emotional environment. In specific commercial situations, it's only the dramatic effect of light that brings it to our notice. Rarely do we appreciate its mere illuminative existence. Although office lighting will never win an Oscar, the approach to its design must be just as creative, if it is to win the silent applause of its eventual audience. The quality of lighting depends upon how much thought goes into its use. At its best, it can add an extra dimension to the description of objects and to our perception of an interior. But it must still meet its functional brief of providing the visual conditions necessary for rapid, accurate, and comfortable work, sustained over a working day. There is yet another demand imposed upon the architect and the commercial designer. It is one of cost and of energy conservation. Lighting is an essential use of energy, and fortunately there are standards laid down in the Code of the Illuminating Engineering Society which helps the architect to achieve a desired visual environment in most given situations, and to achieve it economically.
Well, that seems to fit in fine with the code recommendations.
Yes, but bearing in mind that we're after the highest...
The IES guidelines should be considered at the earliest possible time, even before the building design has been settled.
We'll boost up the illumination level to match the brightness of the windows and reduce the contrast.
In this way, not only will the final lighting requirements be met in full, but the capital and running costs of the installation may be substantially reduced. In most existing buildings, too, applying the IES standards would greatly improve the lighting environment. The positioning of lights, however, is only part of the battle. The choice of equipment can be far more critical, especially where the best use of light output is a consideration, which it always is, of course.
That's fine. Now, a little bit further to the back.
The stage lighting designer is able to control the output of his equipment with various masking techniques and by dimming, and so he obtains the right effect.
Bring that down to half. That's better.
Well, these are the fittings I wanted you to have a look at.
Once the architect has specified a lighting layout, his control of brightness is restricted to a choice of lamp and perhaps diffusing material, usually to the detriment of efficiency and economy.
Well, for example, what's the advantage of that type of diffuser?
Well, basically more light, better control.
The architect cannot make slight adjustments at the dress rehearsal. His creativity must prevail even before the script is written.
Yes. Well, come and have a look at some more I've got over in this other room.
His choice of equipment is a wide one. His use of it can be extremely flexible. A widely used light source, with perhaps little thought as to its efficiency, is the common filament lamp. Unfortunately, it converts only 10% of the energy supplied to it into visible light. This, at wavelengths to which the eye is sensitive, represents about 10 to 20 lumens for every watt. On the other hand, discharge lamps, both compact high pressure and tubular fluorescent, convert between 20 and 25% of the energy reaching them. They can produce over 85 lumens for every watt. The more efficient luminaires may use prismatic controllers to direct light where it's wanted and do so without waste. Then there are the air-handling luminaires, which draw air across fluorescent lamps to maintain them at their optimum temperature. It should be remembered that an air-handling luminaire will emit 10 to 14% more light than its static equivalent. The economies that apply to good working lighting can also be adopted when lighting mainly for effect. 100-watt crown silvered lamps may be substituted for 150-watt spot lamps, and instead of filament lamps in down lights, high-pressure discharge lamps can be used. Use a more precise optical system and the effect can be the same, but the power saving substantial. If all the world were a stage and all the people on it merely players, then the architect could light for dramatic effect. As things are, he must provide an acceptable environment for at least an 8-hour play. Happily, in the shape of the IES code, the successful program has already been printed.